Alright guys, let's get started. We start by removing the two bottom pendulum screws located to the left and right of the charging port. The screw head is very tiny on this iPhone. Actually, all models use the same size. Nevertheless, you need to source a P2 screwdriver. After you remove the screws, now it's time to open up this bad boy. I use a very useful tool called an eye holder. It helps hold the screen in place while I work, which comes in handy. Now, since we have the screen folded to the right, let's start removing the screws holding the front camera, LCD, and digitizer cables in place. These screws require a Y3 screwdriver. These screws are very small and can get lost easily. I recommend using a magnetic work mat to hold all screws in place in case someone knocks into your work area. However, since I've been doing this for about 10 years now, I can manage without having one. When lifting the shields or disconnecting cables from the board, I encourage you to use plastic pry tools. It's not fun when you accidentally short out a component on the logic board using a metal tool and add an extra hour of work to your repair. So disconnect all cables and remove the screen from the iPhone. You'll notice some black adhesive that comes with the screen. This is what they call a dust cover. It's supposed to keep small particles, dust, and debris from entering the inside of your iPhone and dirtying it all up. I have to go back and remove a screw that was stuck inside the standoff screw. Typically, all I need to do is retighten and apply a bit more pressure to the Y3, and the screw comes loose from the standoff. No problem. We can move the bottom half of the phone out of the way for now, and we can start swapping over the front camera assembly and the bottom button from the old broken screen to the new screen. Using our Phillips screwdriver, we can remove the front camera bracket, ear speaker, and finally the front camera. This part can be done in a few ways. I use alcohol, but there's a few ways to do it. We can use heat or alcohol, and I prefer alcohol from the screen. A little persistence and patience, it'll come loose, and once it does, you can put it off to the side. You can see me pulling away some black adhesive here from the screen. This is to cover the exposed copper pins on the front camera flex cable. Always need to put it back exactly where it was. Good habit to do. Now it's time to remove the Touch ID home button. We remove the bracket held in by yet again some more Y3 screws. All these Y3 screws are the same size, so you don't have to worry about putting them back in the wrong order or the wrong way. Time to disconnect the home button connector from the screen and remove the home button flex cable. Always be careful on this step. If you slightly nick or tear the cable, you either lose the home button functionality or the Touch ID functionality, and there's no way of getting it back. So I recommend using heat or a plastic pry tool. However, you'll notice I'm using alcohol and tweezers again, only because I've been doing this for years now, and I can manage to live on the edge. After the removal of the home button, we're going to install it into our new replacement screen. Install the home button bracket along with the necessary screws. Then we're going to be installing the front camera, ear speaker, and bracket back together. Pretty much the same steps, but in reverse order. Then we attach the new screws back to the phone, holding it in place with an eye holder again, and carefully pushing in the front camera, LCD, and digitizer connectors back in their corresponding spots, and covering the connectors with the pressure shields and tightening them down with the correct screws. Make sure to angle the tongue on the top of the screen under the groove in the phone, almost like installing tongue and groove wood floors. Similar technique. We can then apply pressure to the phone and close up the screen, starting from top to bottom. Once it's closed up, you can power on the phone, install the pendulum screws, and there you go. You're done.